Pardon me. I've had my head in the clouds. These last few weeks, so many cherished memories floating by, and visions about the next chapter of my life, of Wendy's in my life, and of your lives. It's like I've been in a love dream. Thank you to Lucas. I do feel sky high. What a blessing it's been to be a part of this community for these last 30 years, most especially these last 10 serving as Director of Religious Education, Family Minister, and finally Associate Minister. The love, the laughter, the good times and the bad times, and the sorrows too, but so many joys. I cherish this time we've had together. But here we are now, in this precious moment. And I'm trying to take it all in. In a recent talk by meditation teacher Tara Brach, she said, "We have these few moments together. It's this, right now. And here is love and radiance, right here. I feel it, and I hope you do too. This precious, precious moment, right here, right now." As I come out of the clouds and touch down into our beautiful sanctuary, your beautiful, beautiful faces, your generous hearts, my heart is full. I want to take a little time this morning to offer a few heart reflections, what it's meant to be with you, what we've shared and created together over the years, the lessons I've learned along the way, and what I hope for you in the time ahead. When I came to the church back in 1990, I was a back rower who kept a low profile. My, how things have changed. Over the following months and years, I made my way forward and soon found myself up here on the chancel. This had been a dream of mine since I was a child, growing up in the Unitarian Universalist Church in Marlborough, Massachusetts. Life, as it does, took me in many different directions, but eventually it led me back to church and through those big wooden doors. And once I crossed the threshold, my life changed. And all this happened because of you. You made space for me. I'll never forget that. I've learned the church must be a place that knows how to make space for others, give them space to grow. I need my Kleenex. Oh my goodness. Gives us space to grow, to learn, to be challenged, and sometimes fail, to discover and imagine, to be loved, and to lead with love. This is what it means to be a church. To keep our hearts and minds, our arms wide open, welcoming, to keep, it's not always pretty, and it's not always perfect. And sometimes, sadly, hurt happens. But we must stay committed to the widening of the circle, welcoming all souls who make their ways through the wooden doors and say, "Come in. We're so glad to have you." There is joy to be found here. Remember, we have a jar full to the brim. Speaking of brims, meaning the kind you find on a hat, I've had the opportunity to wear many hats and a few pairs of goggles over the last 10 years. Luckily, I love hats, so many styles and shapes and colors. When I joined the staff, I grabbed an invisible hard hat as I learned my way around the Sunday school program. Honestly, I wasn't sure I was actually right for the task. I had never run a Sunday school before. But Steve Furr opened the door and invited me in. And with the help of our amazing parents, and a big, big shout out to Joe Dellert and Nancy Buffum, who helped me get my footing, our committee went to work shoring up the program and welcoming families back to church. That was a precious time. Around year 3, I took off the hard hat and traded it in for a lab coat. Sunday school and church, I realized, it's a love lab, a place for experimentation and imagination and creation and connection, held by our Unitarian Universalist principles that call us to live in harmony and peace and to work for justice, and rooted in a theology grounded in love. I imagined glittery lab coats that we would wear and goggles for the Bunsen burners, I mean the flaming chalices. Our kids and their parents taught me that love, fun, and adventure, creativity needed to be at the heart of our learning. Whether it was singing our UU principles, answering big life questions, practicing crazy dance moves, or learning how to cook a meal with your friends while hanging out on Zoom. That lesson came later when the Love Lab went virtual. Friends, we Unitarian Universalists have a habit of thinking that we need to be experts to teach and share who we are. But it's not so. Lesson plans and study guides are helpful, but you don't need to be a whiz kid to teach and lead. You just need to trust and lead with love and joy and laughter too. That's all that's needed. When we blend those magical ingredients, adding our own special twist, we make something special and something sacred too. Maybe what I really need is an apron. I imagined a UU cookbook, lessons from the Love Lab, mixing it up and making life sweet. Maybe that's something I'll do when I come back. Church, you've heard me say before, is a place of possibility. It's what I tell visitors and prospective members. In the space of possible, lots can happen. Human history and church history show us that we can create beauty, nurture goodness, have fun, and care for one another, and work for justice and peace. And history has shown that the opposite is also true. That in the space of possibility, we can cause great harm and pain. So the question for us is, how do we want to live into that space of possibility? What guides us? How do we work together, drawing on our principles, our purposes, our theology, and collaborate with one another and with those outside our community? What steps, what imagination is needed to live out our mission and our vision? Church has shown me again and again and again that we need to be generative, bringing our joyful energy into our community and out into the world, bringing things to life. That generative, caring spirit is what makes the precious moments so precious. Remember, the world is creative, endlessly so. And its generative nature is a part of who we are. It's quite simple. When we work together, when we sing and dance together, teach and reach together, we bring that generative spirit to life. And if we think we've lost it, we don't have to look far. We see it all around us. We see it in our children. We see it when we worship, when we gather in community, and when we work for the common good. In that precious space of possibility, we come together to generate joy, to connect to the Spirit, feel it moving and grooving, laying down the rhythms that are life-sustaining and life-affirming. And when we remember to breathe, let's breathe. Feel the ebb and the flow, and rest in the spirit of love. Beloveds, my dearest ones, you are precious to me. These times we've had together just to laugh or sing a song, join a protest, run some relay races, make art, tell stories, share meals, tend to one another in our grief and our sadness and our pain, share in the life of the church and its rituals. All of it have meant the world to me. You opened your doors to me, your hearts, your love, and I'm so grateful to each of you. Thank you. When I looked in the magic box that one last time, I found something I hadn't seen before. This was my mom's hanky. It feels good to use it today. It's in here. I found a very special pair of glasses, and a note was attached. It said, "These glasses of fantastic and sparkling imagination, put them on before you go. But leave them for the others, best in Vanessa's care, along with the joy jar. They might come in handy." Well, I always comply with what's in the magic box. So here they are. I imagine all of you bringing joy to the world, grooving to the sights and sounds and rhythms of the possible, and generating love wherever you go. That's what I see. I know a lot of magical things will happen in the next 2 years when I'm gone. And I look forward to being back with you then. It's like the teacher said. We have these few moments together, It's this, right now. And here is love and radiance right here. I feel it. I hope you do too. What an amazing time we've had together. And friends, it's time to put a little love into our hearts and start a love train. Let's keep the joy moving. It's what we have to do.